I sat through 3 hours of pure, unfiltered disrespect last Friday night, and I didn't say a word. Just smiled, nodded, and absorbed every cutting remark, every condescending laugh, every comparison to men I'd never met. My girlfriend Luna, 28 years old and sitting right next to me, said nothing, did nothing. Just sipped her wine and watched her friends tear me apart like it was entertainment. And when I finally got up to leave, when I'd had enough, she looked me dead in the eyes and said, "If you don't like my friends, that's your problem." She was right. It was my problem. So I solved it in a way that made her friends never speak to her again. I'm 30 years old, and I'd been dating Luna for 10 months. 10 months that I thought were going somewhere real, somewhere serious. When she invited me to her monthly girls' night at this upscale wine bar downtown, I was actually excited. She said her friends wanted to finally get to know me better, really get to know the guy she'd been spending all her time with. I should have known something was off when I showed up and realized I was the only boyfriend there. The only man in a sea of women who'd clearly already been drinking. Luna's friend group was tight in that way that goes beyond normal friendship. 5 women who'd known each other since college, who called themselves the Coven unironically, who had matching tattoos on their wrists of some symbol I never understood. They were a unit, a pack, and I was walking into their territory. The ringleader was Scarlett, 29, marketing director at some tech startup you've probably never heard of. She was the kind of person who starts every sentence with "actually," and somehow makes it sound like an insult. Then there was Iris, 28, a fashion blogger with 30,000 Instagram followers who looked at my target genes like they'd personally offended her entire bloodline. Zara, 29, yoga instructor who kept mentioning my blocked chakras and negative energy within 5 minutes of meeting me. Natasha, 29, a lawyer who interrogated me like I was a hostile witness in a trial I didn't know I was part of. And Ava, 28, the only semi-decent one who at least had the grace to look uncomfortable with what was happening. It started off awkward. They'd already gone through a full bottle of wine before I even arrived, and I could tell from their flushed faces and loud voices that they were riding that edge between tipsy and mean. Scarlett looked me up and down when I sat next to Luna, this slow, evaluating scan that made me feel like I was being appraised at an auction. "So, you're the famous Theo," she said, drawing out my name. "We've heard things." I forced a smile. "All good, I hope." "Well," she said, exchanging glances with the others. "Luna says you work in IT." "Software development, yeah," I confirmed. "How practical," Iris chimed in, and there was this edge to her voice. "Not very creative, though, is it?" She laughed, and the others joined in like she'd told the funniest joke in the world. Luna jumped in, trying to smooth things over. "Theo's creative in other ways." They all exchanged looks again, these knowing smirks that said they'd discussed my other ways in detail, probably in their group chat, probably with emojis I didn't want to imagine. Zara leaned forward, her yoga-toned arms crossed on the table. "Luna mentioned you don't do yoga. How do you manage stress?" "Gym, mostly," I said. "Some gaming, normal stuff." "Gaming," Zara repeated, like I'd just admitted to kicking puppies. "Isn't that for teenagers?" Iris jumped back in. "What kind of games? Let me guess. Shooting things." "Various kinds," I said, trying to keep my voice even. "It's a pretty diverse hobby, actually." Natasha, the lawyer, fixed me with this cold stare. "I dated a gamer once. He chose his PlayStation over couples therapy. Red flag, honestly." The hits just kept coming. Every single answer I gave got picked apart, analyzed, and found wanting. Every hobby was childish. Every job detail was boring. Every aspect of who I am was somehow not enough. Natasha tilted her head, So, you've been together 10 months. That's around when Luna usually... She trailed off, looking at Luna meaningfully. Nat, stop, Luna said, but she was smiling. Remember Kyle? Iris said, and they all nodded like they were remembering a fallen hero. He lasted 11 months. Guys, Luna started, but Scarlett cut her off. Kyle was different, though. He had ambition, started his own company. I have ambitions, too, I said, feeling defensive now, in software development. How revolutionary, Scarlett said flatly, and they literally laughed. Not polite chuckles, full-on laughed at me. Then came the relationship test questions, the ones designed to make me fail no matter how I answered. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Natasha asked, and it felt like a deposition. Hopefully senior developer, I said. Maybe team lead, and with Luna, obviously. Oh, together, Iris said, eyebrows raised. Maybe, Scarlett repeated. After 5 years, Luna needs someone who knows, not maybe. I looked at Luna, waiting for her to say something, to defend me, to tell them to back off. She just sipped her wine, eyes on the table. The final straw came when they started the ex-boyfriend comparisons, when they stopped being subtle about the fact that I was being measured against ghosts. Luna's ex-Miguel was so romantic, Zara sighed, looking off dreamily. Remember that time he flew her to Paris for a weekend just because? She looked directly at me. I bet Theo's more of a staycation guy. Miguel was intense, though, Natasha added. Too jealous. At least he had passion, Scarlett said, and they all looked at me. Some guys are just vanilla. The implication hung in the air like smoke. Luna still said nothing. Just sat there, letting it happen, letting them dismantle me piece by piece. I stood up, my chair scraping loud against the floor. I need some air. Oh, did we hit a nerve? Scarlett asked, mock concern dripping from her voice. Luna, your boy's sensitive. You coming? I asked Luna, already knowing the answer. Don't be dramatic, Theo, she said, rolling her eyes. They're just having fun. At my expense, I said. She actually rolled her eyes. If you don't like my friends, that's your problem. The whole table went quiet, waiting for my response like this was the climax of a show they'd been watching. I looked at Luna, at the woman I thought I loved, and something inside me went cold and clear. You're right, I said calmly. It is my problem. I left cash for my drinks on the table and walked out into the cool night air. Luna didn't follow, didn't call out, didn't text for 2 full hours. When she finally did, the message made my blood boil. That was embarrassing. You made me look bad. I stared at my phone in disbelief. I made you look bad, I typed back. You couldn't take a little teasing, she replied. They were testing you. And you let them, I shot back. They're my friends. They're protective. If you can't handle that, maybe you're not ready for a serious relationship. Maybe I'm not ready for a relationship where I'm the punchline, I wrote. So dramatic, she replied. Sleep it off. We'll talk tomorrow. But I wasn't planning to sleep. I was planning to solve my problem, because Scarlett had made one crucial mistake that night. She'd tagged me in her Instagram story from the wine bar. The post showed all of them laughing, drinks raised, with a caption that read, "Finally meeting Theo at Theotech 92. Let's see if he survives the coven." That tag, that one little tag, gave me access to something very interesting. Her followers list. And since Luna was always on her phone during our dates, constantly checking notifications and smiling at her screen, I'd noticed she was in a group chat called Coven Chat that was constantly pinging. I did some digging, started searching social media like I was conducting an investigation, because in a way, I was. Found out Scarlett's startup had just launched an app, a dating app for high-value women seeking ambitious partners. They called it Standards. The irony wasn't lost on me. I found their company Instagram account, scrolled through the recent posts asking for beta testers. The comments section was absolutely enlightening. Complaints everywhere. The app was buggy, crashed constantly, matched people with their exes by accident. 1.2-star rating. Revolutionary indeed. Then I found Iris's fashion blog. Her latest post was titled 10 Signs You're Dating Down, and it featured a stock photo of a guy in glasses sitting at a computer. Subtle as a brick. Natasha's LinkedIn showed she worked at a small firm specializing in divorce law. Her bio mentioned helping women get what they deserve, with an emphasis that felt almost threatening. Zara's yoga studio Instagram was full of inspirational quotes about knowing your worth and not settling, each one sounding like a passive-aggressive sub-tweet. But the real goldmine, the thing that made me realize I was dealing with something deeper than just mean friends, was Zara's old blog. Before she became a yoga guru preaching mindfulness and inner peace, she had a personal blog called Confessions of a Side Chick. She'd deleted it probably years ago, but the internet never forgets. Wayback Machine is forever. The posts were wild, absolutely unhinged. Choice quotes that I screenshotted with shaking hands. If he's taken, he's just pre-approved by another woman. Karma isn't real if you don't get caught. And the one that made my jaw drop. Your friend's man is off limits unless she disrespects you first. I started building a file, not for revenge, I told myself. Just for clarity. Just to understand who these people really were. Saturday morning, Luna showed up at my apartment unannounced. Walked in like she owned the place. Like she hadn't just let her friends destroy me the night before. "We need to talk about last night," she said, crossing her arms. "Okay," I replied, keeping my voice neutral. "My friends think you're too sensitive. Maybe work on that." I let that sink in. "Your friends think I'm beneath you." "They have high standards," she said, like it was obvious. "So do I." "What standards did I fail to meet?" I asked. "It's not about failing," she said. But she couldn't meet my eyes. "Look, they just want what's best for me." "Which isn't me," I finished. "I didn't say that," she protested. "Stop putting words in my mouth." "I'm repeating what your friend said while you sat there and said nothing," I countered. "God, Theo," she snapped, and her face hardened. "Man up. If you can't handle strong women, I can handle strong women," I interrupted. "I can't handle bullies. There's a difference." "They're not mean," she insisted, voice rising. "They're successful, confident. Bullies," I repeated. "The word you're looking for is bullies. You know what?" She grabbed her purse, face flushed with anger. "Maybe you are too sensitive for me." "Maybe I am," I agreed, and I watched something shift in her expression. She left in a dramatic huff, and within an hour she'd posted a story, just a quote on a plain background. "When he can't handle your circle." The coven liked it immediately. Comments flooded in. "You deserve better." "Weak. Men fear strong friendships." Next. That's when I decided to really solve my problem. Monday came, and I'd spent the entire weekend doing research. Amazing what people post publicly when they think they're untouchable, when they believe their little circle is impenetrable. I found Scarlett's Venmo account. She had it set to public, probably to show off how much she was spending, how fabulous her life was. Lots of recent transactions to Luna. Your share of Miguel's birthday gift. The date stamp was 3 months ago. 3 months ago when Luna and I were already dating, already supposedly exclusive. Interesting. Found more of Iris's old tweets, going back years. Long rants about her ex leaving her for some basic girl who probably shops at Target. The projection was absolutely real. But Zara's archived blog was the nuclear option. The posts I found were detailed. Specific stories about seducing other women's boyfriends. One post was literally titled, "Why Your Friend's Man Might Be Your Soulmate." Another was a step-by-step guide to what she called ethical non-monogamy, which was really just sleeping with taken men and not feeling bad about it. She'd written about specific encounters, about the thrill of forbidden relationships, about how borrowed boyfriends were the best kind because there was no commitment. Tuesday, Luna texted me, "Are you seriously still mad? It's been 4 days." "Not mad," I replied. "Busy." "Busy with what?" she asked. "Solving my problem," I wrote back. "What does that mean?" she sent, followed by 3 question marks. "You'll see," I replied, and then I muted the conversation. Wednesday, everything was ready. Time to solve my problem permanently. I created a throwaway Instagram account. Profile picture was just a black square, nothing identifying. Username was TheProblemSolver92. I followed all 5 members of the coven. They all accepted immediately, probably thinking it was someone they knew, someone from their extended social circle. Then I posted my first story. Simple text on a black background. "Since I'm the problem, here's my solution." I tagged all 6 of them, including Luna. Within minutes, I could see they were viewing it. Perfect. Next story was a screenshot of Scarlett's Venmo to Luna. Interesting how Luna was buying gifts for her ex while dating me, but I'm the one who lacks passion. My phone immediately started ringing. Luna's name flashing on the screen. I declined the call. Next story was Iris's old tweets about Target and basic girls. At least my Target jeans never pretended to be haute couture like someone's AliExpress designer bags. Yeah, I can spot fakes too. Iris's Instagram went private within minutes. Then came the Standards app reviews. Screenshots of 1-star ratings, complaints about the app matching people with their exes, crashing during conversations, losing all, messages. Scarlett's dating app for high-value women has a 1.2-star rating. Apparently, it matches people with their exes and crashes when you try to unmatch. Revolutionary indeed. But the big one, the nuclear option, was Zara's archived blog posts. I posted multiple screenshots. Full posts about sleeping with taken men, about viewing other women's boyfriends as fair game, about the thrill of betrayal. Before she found chakras, Zara found other women's boyfriends. Here's her guide to ethical non-monogamy, aka sleeping with taken men. Namaste. The caption was petty, but I didn't care anymore. My phone absolutely exploded. Calls, texts, Instagram DMs flooding in so fast my phone was heating up in my hand. I ignored all of it. Final story was simple text. Luna said if I don't like her friends, it's my problem. She was right, problem solved. Then I did something that I knew would cause absolute chaos. I found their group chat. Scarlett had posted about it once, a screenshot showing notifications from Coven chat, encouraging everyone to move their conversations to encrypted apps. I created a Telegram account, searched for Coven chat, and found it. They'd never changed it from public to private. Amateur hour. I joined the chat. The messages were already flying. Panic and confusion everywhere. "What the fuck is happening?" Scarlett wrote. "He's psycho," Iris replied. "How did he find my old blog?" Zara was all caps. "This is harassment." "I can file charges," Natasha chimed in. Lawyer mode activated. "Guys, some of this is really bad," Ava wrote. "I can't reach him," Luna sent. "He's not answering. He's destroying everything." Then I typed my message. Hey ladies, thought I'd solve my problem directly. Chaos erupted instantly. Get out, Scarlett typed. You're blocked. This is illegal. Is it? I replied. Is it illegal like Zara sleeping with Iris's ex? That was Paul, right? May 2019, according to the blog post? Dead silence for about 10 seconds. Then Iris. What? That's not, Zara started. I never. Blog post titled, When Your Yoga Student's Boyfriend Becomes Your Private Lesson, Ring Any Bells, I wrote. Zara, what the actual fuck? Iris sent. Or Scarlett borrowing money from Luna for her startup but spending it on that Miami trip, I added. What money? Luna wrote, and I could feel the confusion through the screen. Ask her about the $3,000 investment that bought first-class tickets to a music festival, I replied. That was a business trip, Scarlett typed frantically. To a music festival? I sent back. The chat absolutely exploded. They turned on each other instantly, and it was beautiful to watch. While we're sharing, Natasha wrote, Scarlett tried to hit on my boyfriend at the Christmas party. You were divorced, Scarlett shot back. He was fair game. We were separated, Natasha corrected. There's a difference. This is why I don't tell you guys anything anymore, Ava wrote. Zara, you slept with Paul. We were together. It was years ago and you were broken up, Zara defended. For a week, Iris replied. We were broken up for a week. I typed my final message. Anyway, problem solved. Luna, your friends are exactly who I thought they were. Good luck with that. Then I left the chat, turned off my phone completely, and went to the gym. When I came back 2 hours later, I had 147 missed calls. Thursday morning, there was pounding on my door. Aggressive, desperate pounding. Theo, open up. I know you're there. Luna's voice, ragged and exhausted. I let her in. She looked like she hadn't slept at all. Eyes red and puffy, hair unwashed, wearing the same clothes from the day before. You destroyed my friend group, she said, voice shaking. I posted facts, I replied calmly. They destroyed themselves. Zara and Iris aren't speaking, she said, like I was supposed to care. Scarlett's being sued by her co-founder for misusing funds. Natasha's ex-husband is reopening their divorce settlement because of what you posted. Sounds like their problems, I said. Their consequences for their actions. You caused this, she insisted, desperation creeping into her voice. No, I corrected. Their actions caused this. I just provided clarity, shed some light on who they really are. That blog was from years ago, Luna argued. The money thing was between friends. You had no right. I had no right? I repeated, feeling anger rise. Like they had no right to humiliate me for 3 hours, like you had no right to sit there and let it happen. That was different, she said weakly. They were looking out for me. By comparing me to your ex, I said, who you were still buying gifts for while dating me. That was a group gift, she protested. For his birthday, his mother had cancer. It was supportive. Did I know that? I asked. Did you tell me any of that? Did your friends explain that context while they were mocking me? No. They just used it to make me feel like I wasn't enough. She started crying. Real tears this time, not the manipulative kind. They won't even answer my calls. 5 years of friendship just gone. Friendship? I laughed bitterly. They bet on how long we'd last. Iris had money on 8 months. Did you know that? Her face went pale. How do you? Ava messaged me, I explained. She's done with them too. Apparently, this isn't the first boyfriend they've systematically destroyed. This is a pattern. That's not, she started but couldn't finish. You were protecting each other from what? I asked. Happiness? Healthy? Relationships? Normal boyfriends who don't fly you to Paris but actually show up consistently? She broke down completely then, sliding down against my door, sobbing into her hands. Part of me felt bad, a very small part. "I loved you," she choked out. "I really did." "You loved me so much you let your friends tear me apart for entertainment," I said, and my voice was cold. "I thought you could handle it," she whispered. "I thought you were stronger. I thought if you really loved me, you'd push through." "I am strong," I replied. "Strong enough to walk away from disrespect. Strong enough to demand basic human decency. Please," she begged, looking up at me with devastated eyes. "Can we fix this? Can we start over?" "There's no us to fix," I said. "You showed me who you are. Someone who values toxic friendships over their partner. Someone who will sacrifice anything to belong to a group of bullies." "They're all I have," she whispered. "Were," I corrected. "They were all you had. Now you have nothing." It was harsh, maybe the cruelest thing I've ever said. But it was true. She left without another word, and later that day she posted some cryptic stories about betrayal and learning who your real friends are. No one responded. The coven was dead, but they weren't done with me yet. Friday, I got a call from HR that made my stomach drop. "Theo, someone sent us concerning screenshots about you harassing women online." "From my personal Instagram?" I asked, already knowing the answer. "Yes, but it reflects on the company," she said carefully. "Did they send the full context or just selected screenshots?" I asked. "Well, here's the full story," I interrupted. "Including them publicly humiliating me, discussing my private life and sex life in detail, and systematically comparing me to exes for 3 hours, while my girlfriend watched and said nothing. I sent everything, the whole timeline, screenshots of their messages, their public posts, the original humiliation." "Oh," the HR rep said after 10 minutes of silence. This is very different from what they presented." "They started this," I said. "And when I defended myself with publicly available facts they chose to post, they're trying to get me fired. That's retaliation." "We'll disregard the complaint," she said firmly. "This is clearly a personal matter and they're trying to weaponize our policies. I'm sorry you're dealing with this." But Scarlett wasn't done. She started a Twitter thread that began gaining serious traction. "A man digitally stalked and harassed me and my friends because we didn't approve of him dating our friend. This is what happens when toxic masculinity meets rejection." A thread. She laid it all out, carefully edited to make herself the victim. Made it sound like I'd hacked their accounts, invaded their privacy, destroyed their lives for sport. It started gaining traction fast. Feminist accounts retweeting it. Hashtags forming. Believe women trending alongside her thread, until Ava, quote, tweeted it. "I was there. You humiliated him for 3 hours, compared him to exes in front of him, mocked his job, his hobbies, his clothes. He posted public information that you all chose to share. That's not stalking, that's consequences. Stop lying, Scarlett, at your startup." The tide turned instantly, dramatically. More people started coming forward. Scarlett's ex-business partner posted receipts of financial fraud, showing where that $3,000 really went. 3 of Iris's exes confirmed she had a pattern of bullying and emotional manipulation. Former members of the coven, women who'd been pushed out of the group over the years, started sharing their stories of toxicity and control. The thread backfired spectacularly. Scarlett deleted it within hours, but screenshots were everywhere, spreading across platforms. Her startup's investors pulled out immediately. The app shut down before it even officially launched. Iris lost multiple brand deals when companies saw her old tweets and didn't want to be associated with that energy. Zara's yoga studio got review bombed by people she'd hurt over the years, students and boyfriends, and women who'd felt her manipulation. Natasha's firm put her on indefinite leave pending investigation into her practices, and Luna, she became radioactive. No one wanted to associate with the coven's last defender, the woman who'd enabled it all. 6 months have passed since I solved my problem, and my life is completely different now. Better, lighter, actually healthy. Luna tried reaching out a few times over the months, long, rambling emails about forgiveness and personal growth, and how she sees things clearly now, how she understands what she did wrong, how she wants another chance. I deleted them all without reading past the first few lines. Because when someone shows you who they are, you believe them the first time. You don't wait for the edited version they create after facing consequences. The coven never recovered. Last I heard through mutual connections, Scarlett moved back in with her parents. She's working retail now while reassessing her journey and finding her authentic self. Iris rebranded as a lifestyle coach, but she has maybe 12 followers and 0 engagement. Zara left town entirely. Someone told me she's teaching water aerobics at a senior center in another state. Natasha got fired from her firm after the investigation revealed she'd been encouraging clients to lie during divorce proceedings. Her law license is suspended. And Ava? Ava and I actually became genuine friends. She reached out a month after everything imploded, thanked me for exposing what she'd been too scared to leave on her own. She's in therapy now, working through years of toxic friendship patterns, and she's honestly thriving. Luna posted one last thing about me, months after the dust had settled. Some quote about learning to spot narcissists early, about red flags, about dodging bullets. The comments absolutely dragged her. Girl, he posted screenshots. That's not narcissism, that's documentation. You're calling him a narcissist for defending himself? That's literally gaslighting. Imagine committing group harassment and then calling the victim a narcissist when he exposes you. Team ex-boyfriend forever. She deleted her entire social media presence after that, just went dark completely. I'm dating someone new now. Her name is Rachel, and I met her at a bookstore of all places. Both reaching for the same sci-fi novel, had a laugh about it, ended up talking for 2 hours in the cafe section. She has exactly 2 close friends, and they're genuinely kind people. Normal people. When I met them for the first time, my stomach was in knots, waiting for the other shoe to drop. But they asked normal questions. Where are you from? What do you do? Have you read this book? They showed genuine interest in getting to know me, not in testing me or finding my weaknesses. And when one of them made a slightly snarky comment, nothing serious but borderline, Rachel immediately shut it down. Be nice. I really like this one. That's the difference right there. Someone who has your back versus someone who throws you to the wolves for entertainment, for group bonding, for some twisted sense of loyalty to toxic friends. Sometimes I still think about that night at the wine bar. How different everything might have been if Luna had just said, "Hey, that's enough," one single time. If she'd chosen respect over mean girl loyalty. If she'd defended me instead of watching me get destroyed. But she didn't. She chose them. She chose the coven over the person she claimed to love. And when I finally solved my problem, when I held up the mirror and showed them all exactly who they were, she lost everything. Was it petty? Maybe. Was it over the top? Possibly. Was it justified? Absolutely. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Attack someone's character for sport, systematically humiliate them for entertainment. Don't be surprised when they show you exactly who you really are underneath the performative feminism and girl power rhetoric. The best part, the part I'm actually proud of, is that I didn't lie once. Didn't exaggerate. Didn't embellish or manipulate or twist anything. I just collected their own words, their own posts, their own public actions, and presented them clearly in one place where everyone could see. They destroyed themselves. Their own choices, their own cruelty, their own documented behavior. I just held up the mirror. Luna was right about one thing, though. Not liking her friends was my problem, and I solved it. Permanently.